are bold, you are fearless, you are radiant. It's time to unlock the diamond from within. BFF, we rise above, stronger together, we shine with love. Faith unshaken, hearts on fire, fearless souls, we're reaching high.
Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the BFF Empowerment Podcast. I am your host, Blaque Diamond. And today, with me on the Women on the Rise segment of the BFF Empowerment Podcast, I have the pleasure of sitting down with Miss Amanda Scott.
Thank you. Thank you for having me today, Black. It really is an honor to be, and I'm delighted to be on your show. And hello to all the listeners out there.
Thank you so much for joining us. Let's find out a little bit about you before we jump right into the interview. Do you mind telling
Okay.
the listeners a little bit about yourself?
It, I'm an author who works with people that have experienced or are experiencing abuse. And what I do is gently support them with their healing and to make positive choices in their life and to rebuild that self belief. I know about this because of my own experience. After 17 years in an abusive relationship, my journey to freedom started when I realized I couldn't do it anymore, that I was worthy of being
Mm-hmm.
treated with respect. And I wanted a better life for myself and for my children. So I captured my journey in a book called Finding My Way Back to Me, and because I want to share my story with others, because I believe we all deserve the opportunity to heal and move on from an abusive situation.
Wow. That is
Indeed.
amazing. I love
Yeah.
it. As a two-time domestic violence survivor myself, I completely understand the journey. I completely understand the healing and all that it takes to have the strength to leave a situation like that.
Yeah. Well, it's one of
Um,
the most courageous things a
yes.
woman can do, isn't it? Yeah. Yeah.
And people always make it seem like it's so easy. Oh, if you're not happy, just leave.
Mm.
You don't have to deal with that. You could just, but it's not as easy as
No.
someone makes it out to be.
Nope. And that's one of the most powerful steps a woman can take is to actually admit and acknowledge that she's in an abusive relationship. And as you just said, it might seem simple for someone on the outside, but when you're
Hmm.
living in it, it is one of the hardest truths to face.
Exactly.
Mm.
And so with your domestic violence, situation, when did it start? How old were you?
Well, as I said, I was in a marriage for 17 years, but for the most of that time, I didn't realize that what I was living with was abuse,
Hmm.
because abuse, as you know, takes many forms
Yes.
and it's often hidden, whether it's emotional, financial, sexual, or
Hmm.
physical abuse. It creates a feeling of shame in the abused that keeps them stuck. Nobody wants to feel unloved and uncared for. And so we make excuses for our partner's behavior rather than accept the
Hmm.
truth that we are being abused. So
Exactly.
in my case, abuse grew slowly. And what started out as one incident of disrespect became two and three until eventually it became the way I lived. I was
Hmm.
told I was told I was stupid, so it didn't take long before I believed that.
Believe that, yes. I completely understand. And a lot of people don't realize sometimes, You would think that physical abuse is the worst abuse you can go through, but it's actual verbal
Ab-
abuse that
well,
actually has the most lasting impact than the physical abuse.
absolutely. And that is the invisible wounds. That's
Mm-hmm.
what they are. The ones that we deny, the
Mm-hmm.
ones that we hide, the ones that we carry silently for years and years. So what happens, it chips away at your self-worth.
Mm-hmm.
And sometimes these can be the silent ones can be the hardest to name and heal. Because I
It
think
is.
what happens is, we make excuses, we tell ourselves it's not that bad. And especially if there's no broken bones or bruises to prove it.
Mm-hmm.
So we sort of, oh, well, it's not that bad. There's no bruises. But they, as you said, they're the worst. The
Yes.
silent ones, yeah. The
And
ones,
they'll
the
think because
control.
they're not being hit that they're not being abused, but it's just
Absolutely.
as bad.
Yeah,
Well,
yeah,
at least he's not hitting me, so, he's just calling me stupid or, that I'm worthless, but as long as I'm not being hit, then this is
yes.
okay.
Yes, yes. And so a lot of people, well, I mean, 70% of people um, stay in an abusive relationship. It's quite a lot of people, because
Mm-hmm.
you're not being yourself. You are second guessing yourself. You are, walking on eggshells.
Mm-hmm.
You're abandoning your own needs to keep the peace. Because this is
Exactly.
what an abusive relationship is control. And that control replaces respect.
Mm-hmm.
So instead of safety, you just feel fear. That's why you're walking on eggshells. You're in
Mm-hmm.
survival mode. Instead of growing like
Mm-hmm.
a healthy relationship, you shrink. So I think sometimes we really need to focus on what is a healthy relationship. And it is a
Yes.
place of safety, of love, of respect, of mutual growth.
Mm-hmm.
But you
Yeah, like
see,
for me, my first domestic violence
mm,
relationship, I was 19 years old. I came from abuse from childhood. So from the day I was born, I was
mm,
abused. And
yeah,
so for me, that's all I knew.
yes,
So
because
when I got
love
with,
equals
yes,
abuse to you.
exactly.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
so, when I met this person and he
Mm,
just showed me that, oh, he's the perfect man, and I'm just starved young girl, looking for love because I was abused by my mother. And then I was
mm,
abused by my father sexually. And then as an adult now, okay, I'm getting into a relationship thinking that this is going to be everything. This is going to erase everything I've already been through, only to find out I just basically jumped from the frying pan straight
yeah.
onto the eye of the stove.
So
So
you
now
are
this
repeating the
person,
pattern.
yes, he's
Mm,
taking everything I've already experienced and just maximizing it and using it to control me and to, do what he wants to me. And I stayed for 5 years because I felt like I didn't know any better. I didn't
no,
deserve any better. Like nobody showed me
no,
what love was. I never had
no.
known that. And then
Mm,
it's just like one day I got to the point where I was contemplating murder.
wow. Yes.
And I'm
Enough
like,
was enough.
yes, I'm like, the fact that my mind is going here tells me I have to get out of here. I have to get, it's either going to be him or it's going to be me. And
Yeah.
I'm not willing to go sit in jail. Somebody else.
No.
I don't want to be on the episode of Snapped. So
Well,
I'm
you don't
like,
want to be that. Well, that's right. And it's about maintaining your dignity and respect as you go
yes.
through it, because
Mm-hmm.
you can end up being the abuser.
Yes.
You can
And
reverse
I
the
had
roles.
tried leaving once before, but then he scared me into leaving and convinced me, oh, I didn't give him a chance to change and all
Mm,
this. So I'm like, okay, he said he's going to kill me if I ever tried to leave him. So I just kind of settled back. And then it changed for like a very short while. things got better. And I'm like, okay, well, maybe, yeah, maybe that's all it took is me threatening to leave. And now he's going to do right. And then short lived and went right back to the same old thing. And I'm like, okay, it's not going to change. He's not going to change. No matter how
Yeah,
many chances I give him, this is who he is. And I have to figure out a way how to get out of this situation before I end
yeah.
up dead or I end up in jail.
Absolutely. Enough was enough. And it's about acknowledging it. And once you acknowledge it, that's what opens, like cracks open the door to freedom. That is it. Once you acknowledge it, and you don't have to, you might not know the answers, and you might not know what to do the next step, but by simply admitting it, it
Mm-hmm.
does. It 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 opens up, the doors to freedom, and
Yes.
that's when your journey begins. Back to you.
Mm-hmm. Yes. And that's actually, I depict the story of that because I actually released, I'm also an author as well. But I wrote my first nonfiction book and I published it back in April of this year. And it was called Stolen
Fabulous.
Innocence, my a survivor's journey to freedom. And it was about, from being abused as a kid to
Mm,
being sexually abused by my own biological father to ending up in my first domestic violence relationship and how I fought for my freedom to be
yeah,
free of abuse and free of people controlling me and dictating and,
yeah,
breaking free from those chains of just being tortured and being abused,
yeah,
caged.
yeah. And I think if you've got that, you don't need to know, as I said, you don't have to have it all figured out. But if you've just got that burning desire to be free,
Mm-hmm.
things come into your life, support comes into your life,
Mm-hmm.
things happen when you just focus that you just want to be free. You just want to be
Yes.
you. Yeah. And it's amazing. And you don't need many friends. I mean, I had one good friend, and that's all it takes to help you, just to talk to be there, to, sometimes they're just there to think of something that you hadn't thought of before to help you through, or just point you maybe in a different direction, or something like that. But they're there to help you in your that situation, abusive situation, and
Mm-hmm.
that's it. But I think, I don't know for you, but the most important thing for me was to have time to breathe, to get out of that chaos, you know,
Mm-hmm.
for a minute. I found that space in nature,
Mm-hmm.
amongst the trees, birds, that stillness. I just needed to get out of that, walk away from that chaos for a bit of time. I just needed that time, that peace, to just walk and just to think, think
Mm-hmm.
things
Yeah, for
without
me,
being
it was
interrupted.
writing, definitely.
Yeah,
Very therapeutic. And I did have that one friend, because I was so used to keeping things bottled up, even from a child, what goes on in this house never, doesn't leave this house. So the abuse I
yeah,
went through as a kid, the abuse I went through as an early adult, I kept all of that bottled up because I was taught to never speak about what goes on in the
yeah.
household.
Mm,
So it got to the point where it started affecting my work. I was having panic attacks, anxiety attacks. I was so stressed and migraines, and I was just so unhappy, and it was starting to affect my work
abs-
and how I behaved. And I was quiet. I was very timid. I didn't talk much. And finally, a friend of mine who was also a coworker was like, "What's going on?" And I finally just let it all out.
you
Like
wanted
I
to
just
speak your truth.
yes.
Yeah,
I was like, "I need
absolutely.
help.
Yeah.
I need help.
Yes.
Please. I
Yes.
need help. I need to get out of this."
Yeah. And but it's the first step is that admitting it and acknowledging it. Um, yeah,
Because there
that
was shame,
this
a
isn't.
lot of shame.
Oh, yes, yes. But the most important thing is to know that you have help, and that it is not, you're not in a normal. relationship. That is not love.
Mhm.
Uh, Real love doesn't look like control at all. And I, I just think that in a healthy relationship, there is freedom. You can actually speak your truth and you can
Mhm.
make mistakes. And the thing is, you can actually set boundaries in a healthy relationship and still be loved.
Mhm.
And respect is not negotiable, it is the baseline. So I think for me, it was about, yeah, I wanted a better life and I wanted a better life
Mhm.
for myself and my children.
Mhm.
And for not to stay in a relationship and show my children that this was love, because it's not love. Uh, and to me, that was one of my priorities of leaving the marriage, to
Mhm.
show my children the importance of self-respect.
Exactly.
Because yeah, but yes, it is
Thankfully, I didn't have
a
any children in my situation because I was very young. But when I
yeah,
ended up in the second abusive situation, this time, which I was actually married, because he didn't start showing those things until after we got married, is when he kind of revealed who he really was. But it only took one time for him to put his hands on me, and I was out of there because I was like,
yeah,
at this time, I'm
yes,
older.
yes,
I've healed. I've been through this before. I've grown. Like, I know where this leads. I'm not gonna fall for the, oh, that was the one time I would never do it again. I'm 33 years old at this point. I'm like,
yes,
no, I already know where this story
no.
ends up. So I'm
But I
out.
think that's right. But it's a physical, it is also the emotional and the financial abuse.
Mm-hmm.
See, financial abuse is keeping control of them keeping control of the funds, and
Mm-hmm.
you they have to ask for money, and that is, if you're being denied access to funds, you are
Mm-hmm.
being abused.
And with my second relationship, it was the opposite. It wasn't that he was keeping the funds away. He was basically forcing me to be in a situation where I had to be the one to pay all the bills, to do everything because
Right.
he didn't want to work. He didn't want to do anything. So it was on me. And at this point, I
Yeah.
had a child as well. It wasn't his child,
Mm.
but he was putting me in a situation to where I was the one that had to do everything financially.
So you were
Support
responsible for
him.
everything.
Mhm.
Absolutely, yeah. He couldn't take responsibility, and I think my situation was that it was nothing to do what I did or what I didn't do or how I behaved. It was simply because my husband was, as we know, a deeply insecure man,
Mhm.
and because of my lack of self-worth,
Mhm.
I chose to accept it rather than question that.
Mhm.
So it's that's it, that's what we it's not about uh it's how we have grown to believe that we deserve to be treated that way,
Mhm.
you
Now,
know.
with your husband, did he have a relationship with his mother?
Yes, but he did, yes, but he was like a spoiled little boy, and that
Mhm.
kept going on for years and years. When yeah, his tantrums
Mhm.
went over little tiny things. Yeah, so he wasn't mature, a
Yeah, I
secure,
figured out like
mature man.
after I left that second, domestic violence relationship, and I just, when I was doing my reflecting and my healing and just kind of I noticed like there was a pattern with all of the men that I had dated, even the ones that weren't abusive, but especially for the ones who were. I always noticed that there was a pattern that they had horrible relationships with their mothers. Either their
Right.
mothers neglected them, because she was on drugs or something like that, or they
Mm,
grew up in foster care, or there was
mm.
always some type of severed mother-son relationship, and that acted out in how they treated women. And, it
Right.
took
Yeah.
me some
Yeah.
time to really sit there and like think about all of my relationships over the years. I said, yeah, that's the one thing I've always had in common with the men that I've dated. They do not have a good, solid relationship with their biological mothers or they have no mother figure, period.
Yeah, yeah, but I think also if they do, sometimes the mother can be over taking um, uh, sort of spoiling them too much in a way, you
Mm-hmm.
know, covering them up with cotton wool, protecting them too much, doing everything for them in
Mm-hmm.
a way that they become so it's either they uh, tend uh, not to have that relationship or they have a relationship but it's not a healthy
Yeah.
relationship. Yeah, they're given everything on a plate in a
Mm-hmm.
way. Yeah, they're spoiled and their mother puts them up on a pedestal.
Pedestal, yes. And that's how I
And
am with my son. Like, I have a 6-year-old, and unfortunately, he was there he witnessed, what happened to me. And at 3 years old, he was trying to defend me, but I felt
mm,
like it changed him seeing me go through that. So now it's made him very overprotective of me. He has separation anxiety. He doesn't like to be separated from me. He used to have nightmares all the time about us being separated. But I've always made sure that I show him the proper
mm.
way that he's supposed to be loved and taken care of so that he doesn't grow up. Now, if he goes out and decides to just, go his own path and be abusive, it's not going to be because of what I did or how I treated him. It's going to be a choice he made.
Yeah,
Because even with
but
my
it's all
own
about
brother,
kindness and
yes.
respect, and
Because
having
at first,
kindness
yeah, my
and respect for
brothers
yourself.
suffered
You
the
know,
same way. Like
yeah,
because of the abuse we went through as children, when my brothers were coming up, especially my younger brother, he was very abusive to women.
yeah. Well, it can go the
Because,
other way
yeah.
sometimes because you've been brought up in that situation. But the thing is, when we're that young and we've been brought up in that situation, we don't have a choice. We have to
Mm-hmm.
accept it. We have to accept the unacceptable. We can't pack up our bags and say, goodbye, mum and dad. I'm off. I'm
Mm-hmm.
off to find another home that loves me more. And, uh, uh, without all this stress and chaos in the home. No, we can't do that. So that's what happens. We have to
Mm-hmm.
accept that at such an early age. But then when we get older, we do have a choice. And we have a
Mm-hmm.
choice to grow our own roots and our own beliefs and to think. And that's why it's important at that age to think, okay, what does love mean to me? You know,
Mm-hmm.
love mean is kindness, is respect. But really, yes, you might want that, but it's being that to yourself, isn't it? It's about being kind to yourself, being giving yourself time, not abusing ourselves,
Mm-hmm.
because really what I was doing was abusing myself in that relationship.
Mm-hmm.
I was I was tolerating the disrespect,
Yep. So that
and
means you were
that
disrespecting
wasn't,
yourself.
yes, in a way, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So it's about having that respect and kindness for yourself and not accepting, no, not accepting disrespect in your life. No. And we can say no now, but before, we didn't have that. Well, I
Mm-hmm.
didn't have that self-worth in me, and belief in me because it had been chipped away, and it just, yeah. So I think, but what happens really? I think we actually just listen to your gut feelings.
Mm-hmm.
We must start to trust ourselves, and that builds, and that and as you go through that breakup process,
Mm-hmm.
um, uh, self-care, spending time to yourself. I mean, healing isn't a, a once um, thing. It's not a single decision. It's a daily commitment. Uh,
Exactly.
and each time you choose yourself, whether you go for that walk, that I said, instead of returning to chaos, whether you speak up, which is speaking up, even though your voice might be trembling at first. And, my voice was trembling. When you rest, when you cry, that's when you are reclaiming pieces of yourself.
Mm-hmm.
So it's really about starting to build that trust within yourself and listen to that, your gut feelings, and don't talk yourself out of your own intuition to avoid
Mm-hmm.
making the hard decisions that will move your life forward. Listen to that
Definitely.
intuition. If it doesn't feel right, no, say no. Stand up, say no. Um, and if it feels good, when it feels good. It just feels right, doesn't it? You follow
Mm-hmm.
your heart. And I really think that connection, that intuition we have, it can be done when we are calm and are peaceful, not when we're in uh, anger or we've got resentment in our bodies. It doesn't, we can't tune into that. Um,
Mm-hmm.
the best time to tune into that is when we're feeling calm. And that's why you need to get away from that chaos, that toxic house, that toxic environment. You need to
Mm-hmm.
step away from that. That's really important. Um, and because then you can find the answers, you come up with them. Yeah, and you connect with reconnect back to yourself. It's
Exactly.
and that's yeah, and that's what it's all about. And building that, okay, it might be one of the hardest, as I said, decisions to make in your life and to get through it, but it is worth it. It is
Definitely.
so worth it. When you've said enough, uh, uh, it's just amazing, isn't it? To
Oh
have the
yeah,
freedom,
definitely.
the love on the other side that waits. But
Mm-hmm.
it's building your own strength up, and I wouldn't change a thing what I've been through. I would not change one
Oh
thing.
yeah, that's what I always tell people. You know what? I've been
Mm,
through a lot of trauma in my life, but I wouldn't change it for anything in this world because it made me who I am. This is why I do what I do today. Because of what I've been
mm,
through, because there are so many people out here, especially women, who are going through these things, have been through these things, and need
yes,
that help on their healing journey, just to hear that other people have went through the same things they've been through and have come out on the other side,
yes.
better for it, that it doesn't have to impact your life permanently. Like you can heal from it, you can grow from trauma.
Absolutely, absolutely. But for the abuse to stop, it start
With-
believing in yourself
Yes.
and know your self-worth.
Mm-hmm.
The easiest thing to do is to blame somebody else, but it's not until we know that we deserve more and that we will not put up with abuse any longer that things can start to change.
Yes. And since during your situation you did have children, how did your abusive relationship impact your children once you left? Like, did you guys have to have like family counseling? Was it obvious to them what was going on? Like, were they seeing or hearing, how you were being talked to, and how did that impact them?
Yes, but I think what happened, I with m- my situation is I didn't want to tell them too
Mm-hmm.
much, so I kept a lot of things quiet. And because kept it quiet, then things started. It was like it was my fault. I was
Mhm.
to blame for splitting up the family and that because I didn't want to put them through what was going on. So I think that's one other. I think it's important to tell the children what is going on, because what
Mhm.
happens is the abuser then turns it round, and he feels like he's the victim.
Mhm.
So
Especially if you're dealing with the narcissist. Mhm.
yes, yes. So I think it's important to tell the children what is going on. Yeah, and but yeah, I mean, uh, I'm very for me, I'm very much for to go and see the father anytime. I just, I wasn't, if they wanted to go and stay or whatever, it was fine. I was just happy to be out of that.
Mhm.
And I don't need to say anything because they can see it in their own eyes what it's like. I think the most
Mhm.
important thing to do is to focus on yourself,
Mhm.
to be happy yourself, because no matter what, the children will be happy that you are happy.
Exactly. And children
So
recognize and notice more than you think they do. Like they're much smarter than we give them credit for.
absolutely. And I think it's important that you're a role model and you show them that you're looking after yourself. You're putting yourself number one. Of course, you care for them if they're young children, but you really need to show them that no, respect is important, is number one.
Mhm.
And kindness as well. Yeah.
Yeah, it's not an option. It's a
Because we're
priority.
absolutely. But there is compassion as well, and understanding.
Mhm.
Some people, like, we've done work on ourselves. I've done work on myself,
Mhm.
and we find out, okay, more about ourselves, don't we? Who we are. We connect with ourselves. We find out, okay, so what are my values? I never thought
Mhm.
about values when I was in the marriage. It's only once I left the marriage did I think really what love means to me and what
Exactly.
values I have. And that is growth work, and that's soul work to help you grow, and personal development.
Mhm.
So I think, and some people don't do it. Some people don't. They want to blame other people, and
Mhm.
yes, but for me, that's important, and they have a choice,
Yep.
and they give them the freedom to be themselves. And if that's
Mhm.
how they are, and want to blame people, then so be it. You can't, as you say, you cannot change anyone.
Nope.
The
You
only
have to take
person,
accountability for your own actions and your own
absolutely,
behaviors and your choices.
absolutely, and they weren't responsible for your happiness in the
Mhm.
first place because you are. You're responsible for your own happiness. And I think when you understand that, then you think, no, I don't have to be with that person. I'm not obligated to be with that person. Uh, I want to live my own life. And if great, if I meet somebody while I'm living my life who wants to amplify my own happiness, fantastic.
Great.
Yes, but I want to be free to make my own choices, to
Mhm.
live my own life fully. Yeah,
And that's
not
what I've always
shaped by fear
told
or
people, like, you
control.
can't seek happiness in others. You have to seek happiness in yourself first. The
Yeah,
happiness someone else brings you is a bonus, but you have to seek that in yourself first.
absolutely, absolutely. Yeah. So it's a wonderful journey, and it is a self-discovery to find out, about yourself.
Mhm.
Because yeah, because sometimes we're shown what love is not, aren't we?
Exactly.
Yeah,
And
and
with the work that you do, with women and helping them, so do you work with women like after they've left the situation or if they're still in the situations
oh,
or
a bit
both?
of both. Yeah,
Okay.
a bit of both. So
Okay.
the yeah, and we're rediscovering themselves. We're looking at changing beliefs and doing that sort of work, bringing in boundaries, all that. Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
and real positive steps to move them forward into a new future, creating
Yes,
how they want to live. Yeah,
exactly.
yeah.
So
And
what would
so
you
I do
say?
workshops and
Mhm.
retreats for that.
Oh, okay. That's what I was just about to ask. Like, do you do like any workshops or okay, so you answered that.
Yes,
Okay.
yes.
And now do you do that as a business or do you do like your own business or is it for an or another like an organization
No,
you
that's
work
my own
with?
business. No,
Oh,
my own
okay.
business.
So
Yeah.
tell us a little bit more about that. Like, what's the name of it? Where can listeners, reach out if they are interested in some of the programs that you offer?
Well, on my website,
Hmm.
amandajscott.com, I have it's Walk Your Talk. It's healing from abuse, and there are retreats and workshops that I take, and steps to be able to move through that, the process, and uh, on that website is my the book, which
Hmm.
is a very finding my way back to me, which it's a very easy, quick read, but it's a powerful reminder that we all deserve to be treated with kindness and respect.
Hmm.
So all the information is there, but if any of your listeners want any support or they know somebody and they just don't know what to do or they want some a bit of advice, please feel free to email me and I will personally get back to anybody and give them that advice and help because I often
Hmm.
do talks to other organizations, to women's shelters, helping, talking, helping. I just want to, I've been on the journey.
Hmm.
I know what it's like, and I just want to be another person that can be out there, a support for them, that can help them, and walk beside them because I know how hard it is, and that is so much easier when you've got help, when you've
Exactly.
got somebody to talk to. It's so much easier. Uh,
So, what
Yeah.
would be your best piece of advice you would give someone who is embarking on this journey to leaving? Like, what would you advise them? What kind of advice would you give them to help them?
I'd first of all say the truth is you do not need anyone else's permission to call it abuse. If it
Hmm.
feels if it feels wrong, if you feel small, if you feel afraid, trapped, silenced, or constantly questioning your worth, that is enough.
Hmm.
You don't have to wait for it to get worse. You don't have to. Your feelings are valid and your pain is real.
Hmm.
I that is important because you don't. If it feels wrong to you and you know it isn't right, you know that's not love. That is enough. You don't need a big reason to say, oh, you don't have to wait for the punches or you
Hmm.
don't. Don't let it get to that stage. If it feels
Definitely.
wrong to you, it's wrong. And I think that's very important. Um, but as I said before, another important thing is once you've made that decision, um, you don't have to have it all figured out because I didn't.
Hmm.
I did not have it all figured out. My book is on 43 pivotal days it took me to change my life, and I was pushed to the limits. I'm forced to
Hmm.
make decisions, but it happens. You don't have to have it figured out. Um, You just need to start. That's all.
Exactly.
You just need
Yeah,
to start.
definitely with my situations because they were both like physically abusive. When it came to me leaving, I couldn't just announce, okay, I'm leaving. Like this is it. I'm like I literally had to plan my escape both times. Like
Right.
strategically have the right people in place, the right
Yeah.
things in place because it was, yeah, my life hanging in the balance. So, yes, definitely don't wait till it gets physical to make that decision to leave.
No. No. I mean, you can start off by having, look, there's something not right. I'm not happy in the marriage. Um, marriage counsel, a counselor,
Mm-hmm.
to see them, see if you can actually work it out. But the truth comes out. If it's not,
Mm-hmm.
if he's abusive, it just comes out. I mean, nobody should deny you friends, really.
Mm-hmm. The
Um,
isolation, the
the isolation,
manipulation,
no.
the
But that
just
happened very early in my relationship. That happened very early. And to me, the biggest problem was how I interpreted the signs of love.
mm-hmm.
Because when I got married, I was convinced of one thing, that my husband loved me. When he called me 12 times a day to find out where I was, what I was doing, and when I'd be back home, in my mind, I
Mm-hmm.
thought that he cared and loved me so much. When he criticized my friends, I thought he
Mm-hmm.
was concerned for my well being, because I think I had to believe that because I wanted to be loved.
Mm-hmm.
See? So, so as I accepted more and more, what I thought was love and a protective nature was actually abuse.
Mm-hmm. It was
Yeah.
slowly isolating you.
And it's very important to keep a few friends,
Mm-hmm.
because they tell you things, you know.
And the guys don't like that. That's why
And the
they
guys,
try to keep them away.
no, no, and we don't, it's not that, one day a friend gently pointed out the way that I was being disrespected. I mean, she'd noticed things that I'd normalized for years.
Mm-hmm.
You see, at first I'd sort of brush it off, telling myself it wasn't bad, but that
Yes,
this
telling
was,
you what to wear and how you wear your
yes,
hair and you
yeah,
shouldn't do
yeah.
this. It was just like, yeah, all the
And I thought,
time.
well, this is just how life was. But what happened is her words stayed with me, and they planted a seed I couldn't ignore.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah, and I think that's why it's important to have friends. If you're denied friendships, if you're denied access to money,
Mm-hmm.
nobody should say that you're stupid, or incompetent or a bad mother.
Mm-hmm.
It's not acceptable. It's not
It is
acceptable.
not.
No. So I think until we sort of recognize, okay, there are healthy relationships out there. There's very healthy
Mm-hmm.
relationships, and to say that there are healthy relationships there out there, and
I
it's
would
not
have to
about
say I'm
putting up.
finally happily in a healthy relationship.
Yes, and you speak your truth.
Yes.
Yes,
Definitely. I definitely feel like through during my healing journey, yeah, I did learn to use my voice. Like because yes, I was very shy and meek and timid and just kind of
mm,
went with the flow and just but after the first situation, once I started my healing journey and just learning who I was and what I would and would not tolerate, so that's why it was easier for
yes,
me to
and
leave the second relationship because I had done so much work on myself that I
yeah,
knew I wasn't going to deal with this and I was able
no,
to say what was on my mind.
Yeah, well, they tested you again.
Mm-hmm.
It's like they brought this in to test you again, and you stood up.
Mm-hmm.
And it's amazing when you stand up, what then comes in after that.
Yes.
It changes completely. But, without healthy love, our health suffers. And I
Mm-hmm.
bet your health is amazing now
Yes.
because with
Life is
love,
good, it's peace, it's
inner
happiness.
peace,
Like,
good
yes.
health, because inner peace and good health don't grow in abusive soil.
Mm-hmm.
No, they thrive in healthy, respectful love.
Yes, definitely.
Mm.
All
So,
right. Well, we have come to my favorite part of the show. It's called
oh,
What Is She Thinking? So I'm going to give you five random phrases. You're going to tell me the first thing that comes to your mind. Don't have to think too hard about it. Just something fun to kind of get to know you after a great conversation.
What is she thinking? What are her thoughts? Quick, fast, no blinking. What do you got?
lovely. I'm excited. Okay.
All right. So your first one is I am.
I am loving, kind, um, caring, compassionate. I'm understanding. I'm forgiving.
All right.
And
I love it.
yeah,
All right. So your next one is give me a piece of.
mm, I was going to say pie, but I don't eat pie. Give me oh, that's funny, isn't it? A piece of a piece of, oh, a piece of, a piece of, oh,
Cake?
yeah, I think I'm going for the pie again. I think
Pie?
I'll go for oh, I think I'll go for blueberry pie. I love
Ooh.
blueberries.
All right. See, sunny days represent.
Oh, my life.
Yeah.
Every day, every single day is sunny.
All right. And we have, let's see, teach me how to.
To uh, be the best version of myself every day, to grow. Teach me to grow, to help others. I think that's very important to me,
Hmm.
is helping others and to be the best I can be every day, to give myself more love every day, uh, to be kind to myself and to be grateful. But I am grateful every day, and I just want
Hmm.
to keep that every day. I want to be grateful and thankful for being here,
Yes, I
and
love
today
it.
for being on your show. It's
Thank
been great
you.
fun.
We have one more. Let's see,
Oh
your
yes,
last one
yes.
is my favorite animal is.
Oh, it's gonna be my little puppy dog, Ezra.
Ah,
He's beautiful.
Ezra.
Ezra is well, I love all dogs. I love all animals.
Hmm.
Um, and I love lions. I love all the animals, love them all.
Hmm.
But I've got a little puppy dog who's a groodle. He's a poodle cross golden retriever, and he's
Oh,
11 months
wow.
old, and he's a lovely little boy. He really is.
Oh,
So it's a
a
lot of fun.
Groodle.
Yes, and yeah, he's yeah, very I think all puppies, they've got unconditional love. they love you all the time. I mean, they're
Yes,
wonderful, aren't they? Yeah.
they
They,
are.
yeah. So they're full of unconditional love.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm very blessed to have him in my life.
All right. So, do you have any last words before we sign off?
Um, I think make a decision that you deserve a better life and do whatever you can to make that happen. And that means finding the part of you that still has dreams for a good life and wants to leave more than you want to stay. Nothing about moving beyond an abusive situation is easy, but every time your mind falters, tell yourself that you deserve more and keep going, please.
I love it. I love it, love it, love it. Well, guys, thank you so much for tuning in into another episode of the BFF Empowerment Podcast. Be sure to follow the podcast on all major podcasting platforms. Also, visit our website at bffempowermentpodcast.com to keep up with the latest episodes. You can also follow us on social media at BFF Empowerment Podcast. We are on Facebook, YouTube, Threads, TikTok, and Instagram. And if you would like to be spotlighted as a Women on the Rise guest, be sure to send an interest email to bffempowerment@gmail.com. If you enjoy the show, be sure to leave a review or a rating on your favorite podcast platform to help others discover their next favorite podcast. And until next time, guys, thanks so much for listening.
Thank you.